When you grow old, careful who you allow in your house, especially neighbors. Life over time teaches us countless valuable lessons. As we age, we learn to treasure relationships, value our health, and appreciate what truly matters. Yet one essential lesson that becomes even more important as we reach our golden years is this: be cautious about who you allow into your space, your home, your life, and your mind. This is not simply about being guarded, but about using wisdom when deciding who you let into your house, especially neighbors or those who show excessive interest in your personal life. Here are the core principles to keep in mind. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. The house, more than four walls. Our home is far more than a physical structure. It's a repository of our lives, woven together from memories, cherished possessions, and countless quiet moments that reflect our journey. By the time we reach our later years, our home embodies everything we have experienced: the joys, sorrows, milestones, and ordinary days that together form the tapestry of our lives. Each room holds stories from shared laughter and family gatherings to moments of solitude and reflection. This is a place where we feel truly ourselves, protected and grounded. Our home also represents independence. For many, it is a symbol of resilience and self-sufficiency, a place where we've navigated countless challenges and shaped a life on our own terms. It's the one space where we can fully relax, surrounded by the familiar comforts that bring us peace. Yet as we age, our kindness and inclination to trust can sometimes open our doors in ways we might not have considered before. The sanctuary we've created, so rich in meaning, deserves to be protected, not just from physical intrusions of others, but from emotional and psychological ones as well. Letting someone into our home is an act of intimacy, a gesture that says, "I trust you in my world." But not everyone who enters comes with genuine intentions. As we open our doors, we must be mindful that not everyone sees our home as the sacred space we know it to be. To some, it may simply be an opportunity, a chance to gain, evaluate, or even exploit. This hard truth does not diminish the beauty of our trust. It only reminds us that our home, our sanctuary, should be extended as a privilege, not as an expectation. In our later years, guarding the sanctity of our home means preserving the heart of who we are. Protecting the space is about more than physical safety. It's about preserving the life we have built and ensuring that our inner peace remains undisturbed. Our home, with all its memories and meaning, deserves to be honored and protected, allowing it to remain a place of comfort, security, and deep personal pride. By choosing carefully who we allow into this space, we uphold the sanctuary we have created, ensuring that it continues to be a true reflection of the life we cherish. 2. Being neighborly versus being naive. There is a fine line between being friendly and being overly trusting, especially when it comes to our neighbors. Being neighborly, particularly as we age, can add warmth and a sense of connection to our lives. A neighbor's friendly wave or helping hand can be a source of comfort and companionship, providing the kind of support that can mean a great deal in our later years. However, it's essential to recognize that not all neighbors have our best interest at heart, and the familiarity of proximity doesn't always translate into genuine friendship. Trust, like respect, must be earned over time. And while many people are genuinely kind, there are always a few who may seek to benefit from the goodwill of others. Some people may present themselves as allies or even friends, but behind this facade could lie intentions that range from self-serving to outright deceitful. The term Judas has historically referred to those who betray trust while appearing loyal, and it's a fitting reminder that we must exercise caution, even with those who live closest to us. The difference between being neighborly and being naive is rooted in discernment. It's about understanding that while warmth and kindness are valuable, they are best offered alongside boundaries. Protecting our personal space, our home, and our lives is not about shutting people out. It's about preserving the sanctity of what we hold dear and ensuring that only those who respect it can be part of it. True friendship respects boundaries, honors privacy, and grows gradually with time. In our later years, we often value connection and companionship more than ever. However, recognizing the need for caution is a powerful form of self-respect. Being mindful of who we allow into our lives and homes, neighbors included, ensures that we protect not just our space, but also our peace, dignity, and the years of trust we've spent a lifetime building. 3. Story 1. The Friendly Neighbor Who Got Too Comfortable. Consider the story as a reminder of how easily well-meaning openness can turn into vulnerability. George, a retired gentleman, had lived in his neighborhood for over 30 years. Over that time, he had built a life of calm routine and a sense of security within his home. Then one day, a new neighbor named James moved in next door. James seemed warm and helpful, always available to lend a hand or share a chat over the fence. George, with his welcoming nature, began to accept these gestures as signs of true friendship. But as time went on, James's friendliness turned into an eagerness that felt intrusive. His visits became more frequent, and his conversations started to take a personal turn. He began asking questions that went beyond simple curiosity, questions about George's family, finances, and even his plans for the future. At first, George brushed it off, thinking James was simply interested in getting to know him better. But the questions grew more probing, and George felt a subtle pressure to share details he'd normally keep private. Soon, James was even suggesting that George consider updating his will or think about selling his home. It was only then that George realized the shift. What had seemed like a neighborly connection was turning into something uncomfortable and perhaps even exploitative. He began to sense that James's motives might not be as friendly as they first appeared. George's instinctive desire to be kind had unintentionally opened a door for someone who was more interested in personal gain than true companionship. This story of George and James highlights a truth many seniors may face: the line between friendliness and overfamiliarity. Trust is something that should be given carefully, especially in our later years, when stability and peace of mind means so much. It's one thing to be neighborly, but it's another to let someone cross into the personal space of our lives without clear boundaries. George's story reminds us that while kindness is a virtue, it's also wise to be discerning about whom we allow into our inner circle. Relationships built too quickly, or with too much familiarity, can sometimes mask motives that are anything but genuine. In our later years, our homes and lives are precious, and protecting them means recognizing when a friendly face may be hiding intentions that don't serve our best interests. True friendship is built gradually and respects privacy. It does not pry or pressure. By safeguarding our trust, we preserve the peace we have worked so hard to cultivate. 4. Story 2. The kind helper with ulterior motives. In our later years, many of us have learned to appreciate the value of a helping hand. Small acts of kindness from others can feel especially meaningful, and as we age, we might welcome support with gratitude. But not everyone who offers help has selfless intentions. Take Eleanor's story as a poignant example of how vulnerability can sometimes be met with exploitation rather than care. Eleanor, a retired schoolteacher, lived alone and had always been somewhat reserved. Then one day, her new neighbor, Beth, began showing up with offers to assist with small tasks, running errands, helping with groceries, and even lending a hand around Eleanor's home. At first, Eleanor felt fortunate, seeing Beth's help as a gesture of kindness that made her days a bit easier. She began to let Beth into her life, and gradually into her home. But over time, Eleanor started noticing that small, seemingly insignificant items were missing. A silver bracelet she had treasured, a few dollars left on the counter, a sentimental trinket she couldn't find. At first, she thought it was simply her memory slipping, a natural part of growing older. However, the pattern continued, and one day, when Eleanor checked her jewelry box, she realized her cherished wedding ring was gone. With a sinking feeling, she began to suspect that her helpful neighbor, Beth, might not have been as kind-hearted as she appeared. Gathering her courage, Eleanor confronted Beth, only to discover that the woman she'd welcomed and trusted had indeed been taking advantage of her generosity. This painful realization was more than just about the loss of a few belongings. It was a betrayal of the trust Eleanor had so openly extended. The feeling of vulnerability, of having let someone into her life who would abuse that privilege, was a far deeper wound than any material loss. Eleanor's experience serves as a reminder that kindness, while valuable, must be tempered with discernment. The willingness to help should be a two-way street, and real kindness respects boundaries. Genuine friends do not push their way into our personal spaces or take advantage of our trust. They honor the dignity of our independence while offering support on terms that respect our boundaries. In our later years, it's natural to seek connection and to be open to the kindness of others, but it's equally essential to protect the sanctuary of our home and our peace of mind. True companionship doesn't manipulate or exploit. It offers support without strings attached. Eleanor's story reminds us that while help is welcome, it's wise to remain vigilant, especially when someone's presence begins to feel more invasive than supportive. By balancing kindness with caution, we ensure that the trust we extend is met with genuine respect and care. 5. Setting boundaries for peace of mind. As we grow older, boundaries become not only an essential tool for maintaining independence, but also a form of self-respect and self-protection. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about creating a space where we can feel safe, at peace, and in control of our own lives. Establishing these limits helps us preserve the sanctuary we've built within our home and mind, allowing us to interact with others on our own terms without feeling pressured or vulnerable. Boundaries are also about defining what feels comfortable and safe in our interactions. In earlier years, we may have opened our doors freely, eager to share our lives and experiences. But with age, we understand the value of privacy, the peace that comes with having clear personal limits, and the importance of choosing carefully whom we allow to cross them. Setting boundaries empowers us to cultivate relationships that are genuine, where mutual respect and trust are present, rather than relationships that feel imposed or invasive. Here are some reflective ways to establish and protect these boundaries. Limit access. Not every friendly face needs to come into your home. An occasional chat at the mailbox or a wave from the porch can be sufficient for building friendly connections without compromising your privacy. By keeping your home as a protected space, you create a clear distinction between friendliness and familiarity. Be mindful of what you share. Guarding personal information is a simple but crucial boundary. Whether it's about finances, daily routines, or health issues, these details deserve to be shared only with those who have earned your trust over time. When we're selective about what we disclose, we ensure that others respect our privacy and boundaries. Trust your instincts. Our intuition often tells us when something feels off or when a person may not have the best intentions. Honoring these feelings is a form of self-care, a way of protecting ourselves from potential harm. Boundaries allow us to step back and evaluate without guilt or apology. Utilize community resources. Many communities offer programs specifically designed to support seniors, from neighborhood watch programs to senior centers and assistance services. Turning to these trusted resources can sometimes provide safer alternatives than relying on individuals we don't know well. Preserve your emotional space. Protecting our home goes beyond the physical. Our mental and emotional space deserves equal safeguarding. Boundaries ensure that others respect not only our physical space, but also our thoughts, feelings, and peace of mind. A healthy boundary keeps our inner world intact, unclouded by unnecessary worry or undue influence. In setting boundaries, we take control of our interactions and create a respectful distance that enables us to feel secure. True relationships, whether with neighbors or friends, should feel supportive, not intrusive. By setting limits, we prioritize our own peace, making room only for those who genuinely respect us and our home. Boundaries, then, are not just lines we draw. They are a form of honoring our own worth, ensuring that we live our later years with the dignity and serenity we've rightfully earned. 6. The importance of being observant. In our later years, observation becomes one of our greatest allies, a quiet strength that can protect us from harm and help us navigate relationships with clarity. Being observant isn't merely about noticing small details. It's about developing an awareness of people's intentions, behaviors, and subtle shifts in how they interact with us. Observation helps us see beyond the surface, allowing us to recognize both genuine kindness and potential red flags that may signal hidden motives. Our intuition, honed over a lifetime of experiences, becomes sharper with age. We know when something doesn't feel quite right, when someone's actions don't align with their words, or when a casual acquaintance seems too interested in details of our life that don't concern them. Trusting these instincts is essential to protecting both our peace of mind and the safe environment we've cultivated in our home. Here are a few signs that may warrant extra caution. Overly personal questions. A neighbor or acquaintance who suddenly begins asking about your finances, health, or family dynamics may have intentions beyond friendship. It's natural to share certain details with close friends, but someone probing too deeply into your life, particularly without reciprocating that openness, may not be there just for companionship. Interest in your property or possessions. When someone seems unusually interested in your belongings, be it your home, car, or even personal items, they may not have purely innocent intentions. Comments that focus on what you own or how you maintain your household could indicate an interest in more than just friendly conversation. Frequent or sudden offers of help. Offers of assistance can indeed come from a place of genuine care, but it's wise to be cautious if someone persistently insists on helping in ways that feel excessive or unnecessary. While there are many people with true generosity of spirit, it's also true that some may use offers of help as a means to gain your trust or subtly gain access to your life. Observation, in essence, allows us to protect our inner world. It helps us create boundaries based on real insight, ensuring that our lives remain private and secure. Being observant means taking note of patterns, how people behave over time, rather than relying on first impressions or assuming someone's kindness is genuine without question. In our later years, awareness brings us the gift of discernment, allowing us to choose our connections wisely and maintain our peace of mind. By staying observant, we honor the life we've built and the sanctuary we've created within our home. Through gentle vigilance, we protect not only our physical surroundings, but the heart of our well-being, ensuring that we can live each day with the comfort, respect, and dignity we deserve. 7. Learning from history. The dangers of misplaced trust. History teaches us countless lessons, and one of its most profound is the importance of discerning whom we trust. Across time, stories of betrayal have shown that misplaced trust can lead to deep loss and lasting regret. From ancient parables to modern tales, we see examples of genuine kindness taken advantage of by those who are self-serving or deceitful. These stories are not merely cautionary tales. They remind us that even well-meaning people can sometimes be vulnerable to exploitation, especially when they are open and trusting. One historical example that resonates is that of the indigenous communities and early settlers. Indigenous people extended kindness, resources, and help to early settlers in good faith, only for some of these settlers to exploit that generosity. Instead of returning kindness with mutual respect, many settlers took advantage, leading to devastating consequences for the indigenous people. This chapter in history serves as a powerful reminder that goodwill must often be met with caution. As we grow older, the history of trust reminds us that while kindness is a virtue, it must be balanced with wisdom. This isn't about becoming distrustful, but about learning to assess a person's intentions carefully before opening our lives and homes to them. Misplaced trust can be especially harmful as we age, when the sanctuary of our home and the stability of our life become more precious than ever. Learning from these historical lessons, we recognize that our home and life are sacred. Extending trust too freely without understanding another's character and intentions can lead to consequences that are difficult to reverse. We must take a balanced approach, one that allows us to connect with others while preserving our personal security and peace. By learning from history, we equip ourselves with a kind of foresight, a protective insight that helps us make wise choices about whom we allow into our closest circles. It's a way of honoring not only the lessons of the past, but also the life we've worked so hard to build. By being selective with our trust, we protect our dignity, maintain our independence, and uphold the sanctuary we've created in our home, ensuring that it remains a place of comfort, security, and peace. Final thoughts: protecting what matters most. As we journey into our later years, we often find ourselves valuing openness and connection more deeply. Friendships and companionship become meaningful sources of joy, and sharing our lives with others can bring a renewed sense of purpose. However, alongside this openness, there is wisdom in protecting what matters most: our peace of mind, the stability of our home, and the legacy of respect and comfort we have worked so hard to build. Protecting what matters most means understanding that our kindness and openness should never come at the cost of our personal security. Boundaries are not walls to isolate ourselves from others. They are structures that safeguard our independence, dignity, and emotional well-being. When we welcome others into our lives, we have the right and the responsibility to ensure that they respect the space and sanctity of our home and life. In these final thoughts, consider that protection is an act of self-respect, a way of honoring the life journey that brought us to this point. The memories, routines, and quiet moments within our homes are pieces of ourselves that we deserve to protect. Each interaction, each friendship, should enhance our lives rather than infringe upon our comfort or security. Genuine relationships are built on mutual respect, where kindness flows both ways, and where personal boundaries are not just respected but valued. As we continue forward, let us remember that by being selective with our trust and mindful of our space, we protect both our external and internal worlds. The right people will understand and honor our boundaries, and those who don't may not belong in our lives. By surrounding ourselves with those who uplift and respect us, we preserve the sense of peace that we have earned and ensure that our final years are filled with the comfort, security, and dignity we so deeply deserve. Ultimately, protecting what matters most is about safeguarding our legacy. It's about living each day in a home that feels like a sanctuary, filled only with the people, moments, and belongings that bring us joy and reassurance. As we age, let us approach each relationship with care, balancing openness with wisdom, so that the life we have built remains a place of peace and fulfillment, as it was always meant to be. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with one. If you feel there's room for improvement, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.